by recording this session and then sharing my screen with you all. And that's what we're going to be looking at today, which is end plays, or sometimes known as throw-in plays. I hope you can all see that screen. And they're called end plays because they sometimes occur towards the end of a hand. But the other name for them is throw-in plays, when you as declarer would benefit from the opponent's leading something. And you can sometimes throw them in, so they have to lead something that will be to your advantage. So let's have a look at a few examples of this. And let's start with this one, where you opened one heart, Westover called a spade, North bid 3 hearts, that shows 10 to 12 points. They're a little light in terms of points, but they've got a lot of hearts in a doubleton, and you end up in 4 hearts. And the opponents lead the King of Spades on this one. And what I'd like you to do is answer a poll in a moment to say how many losers you have between you and dummy. What's the worst situation you could have in terms of potential losers? So here comes the poll now, and I'd just like you to answer how many possible losers do you have between yourself and dummy? So we're up to 70% have voted there.
Tony, I've lost the voting paper.
So you should be able to relaunch it again. Like relaunch poll, launch poll, or something like that.
Tony's still view options.
There's not an option to vote. Well, anyway, you can tell us what you voted for, Lee. What did you vote for?
3, but it's probably 4. No, I can see 3. 1 spade. In theory, you shouldn't lose any hearts. 2 diamonds, and no clubs.
Thank you for that assessment, Lee.
Is it right?
Not quite.
No.
But any others to vote? We're up to 82% have voted.
I've lost the voting paper, but
no. Oh, don't worry. You've
okay, I'll mute myself.
I lost mine as well, actually.
Oh dear, how did that happen?
Actually, because it covered the screen, it covered the, and so I clicked it away. But
normally you can relaunch it, I think, but I don't know if you're on an iPad. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll end the poll there, and I will share the results with you. It's very even. 42% went for 4, 46% went for 3. That's the majority, and 3 people are very optimistic, and you went for 2. So let's have a look at this, and let's see where our losers are. Well, we've got 1 spade loser. As Lee said, we don't expect to lose any hearts here. We have 10 trump, and so even if they divide 3-0, we won't lose any. We'll play the ace, king, queen, and we won't lose any there. We don't have any club losers, but we do have some diamond losers. And actually, we may lose 3 diamonds. It is not guaranteed that you will make a trick with the queen or jack. Just think about it. If you lead this suit yourself, if you lead a low diamond, for example, from your hand, and you play the jack, if that loses to the king or the ace, then you may also lose a trick with the queen as well. That may lose to the other high honor, and you may not take any diamond tricks. So the correct answer as to what's the most losers you could have, the worst situation, is that you might lose 4 tricks here. 3 diamonds and a spade. Does anyone want to have a comment on that? This actually is a situation in diamonds where you can actually do better on this hand, and you can be certain of making a diamond trick if the opponents lead their suit. If the opponents lead diamonds, then you are guaranteed to make a trick. No matter what they play, you will always make at least one trick. So this is a holding. This is a kind of holding where we have honours in both hands, where we would actually benefit if the opponents lead that suit for us. So fortunately on this hand, that's what we're going to do. And we are going to play, we're going to execute an end play by throwing in one of the opponents, and hopefully they will lead a diamond, or they may lead something else that may help us. So this is how it works. We win that first trick, say with the ace, and there's no reason to delay drawing trumps. So we'll draw one round, play another round. That's all the trumps gone. And what we're planning to do is to throw the opponents in. But first, we need to cash the clubs. We need to get rid of 3 rounds of clubs. All the trumps have gone, so nothing can be ruffed here. And then we're going to play a spade. We're always losing a spade trick here. So we're going to play a spade, throw in the opponents, and hopefully they will lead something that will benefit us. If I bring up the 4 hands at this point, you can see that West has just won this trick with the 10 of spades, and they are going to have now to either lead a spade or a diamond. And if they lead a spade, because we have no spades in either hand, and because we still have trumps in both hands, we could, if they lead a spade, discard a loser from one hand while we ruff in the other hand. And if they don't lead a spade, if they lead a diamond, then if they lead a low diamond, the key thing here is to play a low card from dummy. And now if East wants to win that trick, they'll have to play the king. But now we will make a trick. We will make a trick because we've got the queen and jack left. Whatever they play now, we'll make 1 diamond at the end. And we will make 10 tricks there, as long as we can make 1 diamond. Okay? If we go back to this point here, where, let's go back to this point where West has just won the 10 of spades. If instead of playing a diamond, if we change the play, so I'm going to change it now that instead they play a spade, well now we're going to be able to ruff in one hand while we discard from the other. So we might ruff with the 10 of hearts there while we discard a diamond. And now I hope you can see we can't lose more than 2 diamonds. We've been able to execute a ruff and discard. Okay, so East really had no choice then. There was no good lead because we eliminated the club set. There was no safe lead, and anything they led would lead to us making the contract. Anyone have any comments or questions on that?
Me. Tony?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Nothing to do with the subject, but when you give us a quiz to do, could you wait a minute before you flash up the quiz? Because it covers all the cards. So
Okay.
Sometimes one hasn't had time to work out the losers.
Okay, I'll try and do that next time.
Thank you.
I don't have any more quizzes today, but thank you for that.
No, that's fine. Thank you very much.
Let's have a look at this hand again, because this hand was actually played recently, and Declarer found another way to make the contract, and I want to show you how this worked. This is the same hand. I'm going to look at it from the point of view of East, and this is exactly the same hand. They led a spade, Declarer won, played 2 rounds of hearts, then played the king of clubs, played the ace of clubs, and then they led the jack of diamonds. And I've got a question for you. It's not a poll, but I'd like you to tell me, when that jack of diamonds is played, what should East play?
The king.
No, the ninth.
Well, there's no point playing the 9, is there? If you're going to play low, you'll play the 7, won't you? It's actually right to play the king here. It's actually right to cover an honor with an honor. But when this hand was played, what happened was that they led the jack and East did not play the king. And this is what happened. They let the jack go. Now, you may think you're okay because West can win that one with the ace. But now Declarer can make a trick with the queen of diamonds by leading towards it. So what happened now was they took a spade, maybe they played a club here, Declarer won that, but crossed to dummy with a heart and led another diamond. And now Declarer is going to make a trick with the queen. Okay, so if East plays the king here, playing a high card, they'll make the queen later. If they play low, then the queen will win a trick there. So that is another way to make it, and that relies on a defensive mistake. Okay, but if you are East in this situation and Declarer leads the jack of diamonds, you should cover an honor with an honor. You should play the king of diamonds. Okay? Many defenders do not do this. Many defenders get this wrong, and that would be another way for Declarer to make this contract. Anyone have any questions or comments on that? Just bringing up the next hand, just refreshing while we're waiting. Okay, let's try another one. This is one where we opened one heart. There's one spade over called 3 hearts, and we went to 4 hearts here. They lead the king of spades, and again, I'd like you to see if you can tell me how many possible losers you have here. There's not a poll on that, but just tell me where you might lose tricks. What's the total number of tricks you might lose? Do unmute yourselves and let me know.
2 spades and 1 club.
That's right. You've got a total of 3 possible losers here. 2 spades, it looks like you're definitely going to lose, and you might lose a club. This is another holding where in clubs you would really like the opponents to lead a club. If they lead a club, can you see you won't lose any club tricks, because wherever the queen is, they will have helped you finesse against it. So this is another holding where you can benefit if you can get the opponents to lead a club. So what we're going to do is the same as last time. We're going to win this one. We'll draw trumps, which again fall in 2 rounds. And now we're going to eliminate the diamonds, so there are no diamonds that the opponents can play. So we'll get rid of all the diamonds there. And then the best play is just to play a spade. Deliberately letting the opponents in. They can get in and they can cash another spade. But now if I bring up the 4 hands, you'll see that West now has a problem. If they lead a spade, it gives you a chance to ruff in one hand while you discard a club from the other hand. The same applies if they lead a diamond, because you have no diamonds in either hand. And if they lead a club, then you won't lose any club tricks. So you have successfully thrown in West, and whatever they play will lead to you you not losing a club. So if they lead a diamond here, we're going to ruff in one hand while we discard in the other. We might discard a club here while we ruff with the 4 of hearts. And now I hope you can see we're not going to lose any clubs, because we've got just the ace king of clubs, and we're going to ruff, and we're down to trumps at that point. Okay, so you basically make 11 tricks, one more by getting the opponents to throw in, and then you don't have to guess who's got the queen of clubs. Do interrupt me if you have any comments or questions on this. Here's another one, and it's similar, in that we've got a club holding where we would benefit if the opponents lead that suit. It's not clear exactly how the clubs are going to be divided, but we've got the ace-10 in one hand, the jack in the other, and this is also a holding where we will almost certainly benefit if the opponents lead this suit for us. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the same as we did last time. We'll let's start by winning the first trick, drawing trumps. Okay, I think there's another round to go. That's all the trumps gone. And then we need to get rid of the diamond suit so that they have no safe card to return. So we're going to play the king, the ace, and ruff a diamond. Okay, that's got rid of the diamonds. And we're going to now take the king of spades and play our last spade. Again, it's West who wins. And if we look at the West hand, we can see that now they are down to just diamonds and clubs. And if they lead a diamond, it gives us a chance to ruff in one hand while we discard from the other. And if they lead a club, the key thing here is to play low here. Now, if they want to win that, they'll have to play the queen. But now, whatever they play, you won't lose any clubs here. So if they play a diamond, it gives you a chance to ruff in one hand while you discard from the other. Or if we go back, you can see that if they lead a club, they'll be finessing against their partner's king of clubs, and they won't make any clubs. When a diamond is played, you just need to discard from one hand while you ruff in the other, and then you won't lose any more tricks. And again, you'll make 11 tricks if you get the opponents to help you by leading a club or giving you a ruff and discard. So these are the kinds of holdings you need to look out for, where you've got some honours in each hand, and you will often benefit if you can get the opponents to lead that suit for you.
Tony, if they in the last one, if it had been led, if East was the one who got in, does it make any difference? Because they might, if they lead low, presumably, then they take the king, and if they lead high,
so exactly, so it's worth thinking about that. If East had got in and had led a club, you would of course play low from your hand, and then they'd presumably play the king, which will lose to the ace. But now you've got the 10 and the jack left, so you're going to make a second trick there. You're going to make two tricks. So it works either way. What you mustn't do, though, if they lead a club here, you mustn't, for example, play your ace. Because if they lead a club here and you play your ace, that will win a trick, but then you're going to lose the last two because the king and the queen are out. So you do have to be careful. But generally, with honours in both hands, it's a good idea to play second hand low as declarer. Okay, let's have a look at another one. Here it went one heart. There was a double, and your partner jumped to 4 hearts, and they lead the king of clubs. Now, let's have a little think about this. We can again count our possible losers, and we also have a slight clue here in the bidding because we expect most of the points to be in the West hand on our left. So let's see how many losers we have. Well, in spades, we're likely to lose 1 trick. We won't lose more than 1 because we'll be able to ruff after that, but it's quite likely the king is on our left. So if we play spades ourselves, we'll probably lose 1 trick there. We're not going to lose any hearts. We're likely to lose a diamond here. And we've also got 2 club losers. So we start off with 4 possible losers, I think. 1 spade, 1 diamond, and 2 clubs. All right. But nonetheless, there's a chance here to gain by throwing in the opponents. So let's see how it works. Let's win this one with the ace. There's no reason to delay drawing trumps, so let's draw 1 round We'll draw the second round. That's all the trumps gone. And what we now want to do is to throw in the opponents. And actually, we're quite keen that West should win and will hopefully lead something to our advantage. Now, there was a clue, if you remember, that West led the king of clubs. So we're going to play a club. They're going to get in. They can play the jack, and they can safely play the queen here because there's still a club in dummy. But now, after they've cashed their clubs, if we bring up the four hands, we can see that West has a problem as to what to play here. And if they lead a spade, you can see you're going to make two spade tricks. You won't lose any spades. You'll be able to ruff that third one. If they lead a diamond, it gives you a chance to play your queen and not lose any diamonds there. So whatever they play, they have a bit of a problem. If they play a club, then that gives you a chance to discard from one hand while you ruff in the other. Now, if they play a club, what do you think you should play? You're going to need to think at this stage, where do you want to ruff and where do you want to discard? And there are a couple of possibilities, but one of them is to discard a spade while we ruff in our own hand. And now we're not going to lose any spade tricks. We'll be able to ruff them. Okay, so that's one way you could do that. So now we're in good shape. Now we can play the ace of spades. We'll ruff a spade. We're almost certainly going to lose a diamond here, whatever happens. So we can take the ace. We'll ruff again, and we're going to lose here to the king, but we'll make our 10 tricks there. So basically, we gained by getting West to lead something that helped us. If they led a spade or a diamond, it would help us. Or if they lead a club, we can ruff and discard. Okay.
Tony, could I just ask you about the bidding in that one?
Yes.
North. I think if I had that hand, I might have only said 3 hearts. Would that have been wrong then?
Well, so it's normal over a double to bid a little bit more aggressively than normal. And here you have 5 hearts, so you know you have a good heart for it. Perhaps without the double, you would just bid 3 hearts, but over an intervening double, you should bid a bit more aggressively and bid 4 hearts. 4 hearts, in any case, is a fairly weak bid. It's sometimes called a preemptive game raise, and with good trumps, maybe you should just bid 4. But if you do just bid 3, maybe your partner will go on. But 3 hearts over an intervening double is normally a bit weaker than this. So I think 4 hearts is probably a better choice there.
Okay.
Any other thoughts? Let's have a look at one involving a bit of preemptive bidding. East here has opened 3 clubs as a preemptive bid. Let's suppose you decide to bid 3 spades. It's a tough choice there. But West bids 5 clubs and your partner bids 5 spades. So here you are in 5 spades. The opponents lead a club. And let's just take a little time to count your tricks and count your losers here. Well, things are not looking great here because I'm going to lose the ace of spades. I've got 1 heart loser and 1 diamond loser. I'm not going to lose any more than that because I'll be able to ruff after that. But it looks like I have those 3 losers and looks like they're inescapable. As indeed they are inescapable unless the opponents help. So let's actually just bring up the 4 hands at this point. Of course, you're going to ruff this one. Okay, and let's suppose you draw trumps. You play the ace spades and West wins with the ace. And now, really, the contract should always be defeated unless West plays another club. So West obviously should not play another club because there's a distinct danger that it will be ruffed in one hand while you discard from the other. But if they do give you a chance by leading another club, you just have to discard from the right hand here. And you just need to think, where are you going to discard a loser that will help you? And what you must do is, if you decide to discard from dummy, you must discard a diamond. Discarding a heart is useless. Or if you decide to discard from your own hand, then you must discard a heart. Discarding a diamond is useless. So if you decide to ruff here in dummy, you must of course discard a heart. Okay. Or if you decided to ruff the other way, you discard a diamond. And now you're going to make your contract. You're only going to lose one diamond. But so, you know, if you're a defender here, be very wary of leading a suit where declarer may be able to ruff in one hand and discard from the other hand. If dummy is voiding that suit, that's a dangerous suit to lead. And if they do make that mistake, you need to take advantage of it by discarding from the correct hand. Okay, I'm sure none of you would do that.
Tony,
Yes.
would you really bid 3 spades over 3 clubs when you're vulnerable with that hand?
What do you think?
No.
It's a tough one. I mean, you should bid on the assumption after a preempt that your partner has something for you, that your partner has about 7 points for you. So it's quite a close call. I mean, the problem with not bidding anything, I suppose you would pass then, or would you double? I don't know. But if you don't bid anything, then they may end up playing it in 3 clubs. And you know, they'll get a good score for that. I think they may.
Tony, may I ask you a question? Supposing
Yeah.
they play a diamond instead of another club,
Yeah.
well, how would that work?
Then let's go back to that point. So so they've just won that trick, and if I click on GIB, you can see that if they lead any red suit, either red suit, they will defeat the contract, because you're always going to lose a heart, and you're always going to lose a dime.
Yeah.
It's only if they lead a club do they give
Right,
you a
I'm
chance.
just in the middle of
to
a.
make the trick.
I'm
Okay.
just in the middle of my bridge. I think I'm finished it.
Any comments there? Someone there is talking. If you wouldn't mind muting yourself, please. Any other comments or questions on that? But yeah, I mean, bidding 3. Sorry, if we rewind, bidding 3 spades is fairly aggressive, but you know, maybe it's the right thing to do. Maybe if they bid 5 clubs, maybe North should double instead of bidding 5 spades. But you do have exceptional length in spades. Anyway, let's have a look at one more. This was actually one that was played recently, and let's have a look at the bidding on this one. North, we'll look at it from South's point of view. North opened 1 no trump. East made an overcall of 2 hearts, and you bid 2 spades. Now that's showing that you want to compete over 2 spades. It's a weak bid, saying you want to play in 2 spades, showing some points and at least a 5-card suit. That gets passed around, but East doesn't want to let you play in 2 spades. They bid 3 hearts, and your partner now bids 3 spades. So he's not going for game here. He's just competing over 3 hearts. And let's have a look at this from declarer's point of view. When this hand was played, nearly everyone played it in spades, and it made a variety of contracts. Some made 8 tricks, some made 9, some made 10 tricks in spades. Let's have a look at it and look at it from declarer's point of view and see if we can work out where we're in danger of losing tricks here. So take a minute and tell me how many tricks in total you think you might lose here. There's not a poll, just tell me at the end. I'm counting as well. How many?
6.
There's a vote there for 6. Any other thoughts?
5.
5.
I think 5 is most likely. We've got a spade to lose, 2 hearts to lose, We won't lose more than that because we'll be able to ruff. And we're in danger of losing a diamond and a club. No more than one club because we've just got a doubleton here. I mean, the bidding makes it likely that most of the points are with East. So we probably will lose to the Queen of Diamonds as well as to the King of Clubs. So if we lose those 5 tricks, we'll just make 8 tricks here. Okay, let's have a look at this and see how it went. We'll actually look at this from East's point of view. So your partner's led the King of Hearts. That's your suit. Leading the King could easily be a doubleton. So you encourage there with the 10. They play another heart, which you win with the ace. And let's suppose you play a 3rd heart. Now, although you can see that's going to be ruffed in dummy, the Queen of Hearts is still out. And if you don't play a heart now, you have maybe given a heart for South to take. So let's play another heart. The Queen appears. Your partner is able to ruff with the 8, and that forces out the 9. Okay, so let's see what happens next. This is how it was played at one table. Declarer started drawing trumps. They drew 1 round of spades. They now played another spade, which East won. And can you see that East now is in a terrible position? Because East is now end played. East has got him with the ace of spades, and anything he leads could help Declarer. I hope you can see that leading a club would be a delight for Declarer. Similarly, leading a diamond towards strength in dummy, and leading a heart would give Declarer a chance to ruff in one hand while they discard in the other. So if you do lead a heart, this is what happened at one table. Now Declarer can discard from one hand while they ruff. And this Declarer actually discarded a club here. They ruffed there. And now they're not going to lose any club tricks. In fact, they played the ace, followed by a low club. East had to play the king, and that set up the queen. And now Declarer could get to dummy with the ace and the King of Diamonds, and the Queen of Clubs is good. And that's how they were able to make 10 tricks there. Okay. How should this have gone? East made a bit of a mistake on this one, because East, once dummy comes down, they need to realize they are at risk of being end played here. Okay, so how should it have gone? The first 3 tricks are fine. They took their ace, they played another heart. But when Declarer now leads a spade, East has got to play the ace. Why? So that you then have a safe card to return that doesn't help Declarer of another trump. So you play your ace so that you can now return a spade. You play a spade back, and you're not helping Declarer. Declarer wins that one, and let's just bring up the 4 hands at this point. Declarer's now got rid of all the trumps, and he's probably going to try one of the finesses. So if he tries a diamond finesse, tries the jack, that loses to the queen. And what should East play now? Anyone like to unmute yourselves and tell me?
Diamond.
Yeah, a diamond, 100%. You must play a diamond here. Don't play a club, that would be disaster. And don't play a heart, because again, it gives Declarer a chance to do what they did before, of discarding a club maybe while they ruff in the other hand. So make the safe lead. It may seem strange, but it's a completely safe lead to play a diamond. Declarer can cash his diamonds, but now will probably fall back on the club finesse. So he might go back to his hand, try the club finesse, and then you will win that trick. You can't make any more after this. Whatever you play now, Declarer will win and will make 8 tricks there. But you've held declarer to 8 tricks there by good defense, whereas a number of people, declarers managed 10 tricks on this one due to not such good defense. Anyone have any comments or questions? Finally, let's look at this one here, where East here opened the bidding 1 diamond, you overcalled 1 spade, your partner jumped to 3 spades, which presumably is an invitational bid, and you bid 4 spades. The opponents lead a diamond, and let's stop to work out where we're in danger of losing tricks. The clubs are all good. We're not going to lose any clubs there, but we're going to lose 2 diamonds, a heart we could lose, and we may or may not lose a spade. It depends how the spades divide. We've got 9 trump. If they divide evenly, we won't lose any spades, but we're in danger of losing. If they don't divide evenly, we might lose a spade. And the heart is likely to be a loser. Given that East opened the bidding and that we're in game, it's very likely that they've got the king of hearts here. So the heart finesse is probably not going to work. Anyway, let's see what happens. They leave the jack. East encourages there, takes the king, and East plays the queen of spades, which is an interesting play. So you win that one. And let's suppose you play your king, and you get the bad news that the trumps didn't divide evenly. So East now has got the jack of spades. So that's both good news and bad news. It's bad news that the spades didn't divide evenly, but it's good news that instead of trying the heart finesse, you know that you can throw in East with their last spade, with their jack of spades. And maybe they will lead a heart or something else that will benefit you. But first, you need to get rid of all the clubs. You need to make sure East has no more clubs. So you're going to play the clubs. You don't really mind if it gets roughed here particularly. So let's play another round of clubs. And let's suppose we play a 3rd round. And East lets you win that. They could have roughed it, but you've won that. And now you've done what you needed to do. You've got rid of all the clubs from the East hand. So all they've got left, if we bring up the 4 suits, is they've got the jack of spades and they've got the heart and the diamond. So all you're going to do now is, well, you could play another round of clubs, or you could actually just play a spade. East is now thrown in, and anything they lead will help you. East is obviously not going to lead a heart here because they can see dummy. They're leading with the ace-queen, so they will probably lead a diamond, and that gives you a chance to rough in one hand while you discard from the other. What should you discard? Where should you rough? Anyone like to suggest what your plan should be here?
Discard in the south end and rough in the north.
Discard the heart. Can you see that? Once you see it, I think it's clear. Discard the heart and rough in the north hand. And now you're not going to lose any hearts. Now you can play the heart, and you've got 10 tricks, all the trumps at the end. Okay, so that was an interesting one where you had control of throwing in East there and making sure they led something that could help you. Okay, any comments or questions on any of that?
Yes.
Yes.
They're not easy.
They're not easy.
Yeah.
Well, so I agree. There are actually, some people consider this a fairly advanced topic, but what I suggest you do is look for situations where you can gain by not leading the suit yourself. For example, on this one, you may think, well, the only way to avoid a heart loser is to try the heart finesse. But the heart finesse is very unlikely to succeed, given that most of the points are with East. So see if you can, get the opponents to lead something. Just, look out for holdings like that where instead of trying the finesse, you just try to throw in the opponents. And sometimes they will lead something. not because they're forced to, but it will still be a lead that will help them. So they, in other words, they might make a mistake and lead something that will help you. But if you're going to lose a trick anyway, maybe lose it and maybe get the opponent's help. All right.
Okay.
Thank
Anyway,
you.
that's
Thank
that's the end of the talk today. I'm going to stop sharing
you.
my screen with you and end the recording. And just to say